Good evening, everyone. This is Paul Govier, and I'm just about to hopefully do this time. I just started to record this just now, got through the first bit, and we had a power cut. So that's obviously messed everything up. Okay, where are we? We're going to do some races this season. Roberto's asked me, and I'm quite happy Brian Anderson has volunteered to help me. And if anybody else wants to run some, please do. Roberto will supply the items free. The cost is you have to do either a write-up or a video like this that I'm doing to post in a few of the groups, and hopefully we can get him some publicity. My project is to run every single UCI one-day event this year. Obviously we can't run them to after the event because we won't get the stats or the thoughts, but okay, a bit of the information about what I'm using before we crack on. This is the cycle helper that I've created, and there is a YouTube tutorial on my post to see it in action. Tonight we're going to use it to hopefully run the basic race, and if we've got time, and I don't think we've been too long, I'll run the Great Team or the Break Limit. The only difference is the races are run the same, but during the Great Team control, if there's more than 5 racers in a group, there has to be one from every Class A team. If not, we need to generate extra riders into the group. Also, there is another one called the Team Breakaway. In the Team Breakaway, no more than 3 racers from a single team can be part of the breakaway. If you roll for more than 3 racers of the same team, roll again and choose a different team. Today we're going to do the basic race. I don't know what I'm going to roll on the first E10. If we don't get a 0, we're going to have each section used. If we get a 0, there's going to be no breakaway. I'm going straight to a sprint finish. Time to watch the black dice. The die roller is available free on sportsreplays.net in the download sections. A great site run by John Gardner for all sporting interest in the board games. Okay, here we go. We've got a 4. 2d6 racers breakaway. So we're going to add the red and the blue dice together. And we've got 7 racers to generate. Bear with me, this could take a few minutes, but it's worth the effort. Right, 33 is an A team. Anything up to 50 is A, 51 to 80 is B, 81 to 95 is C, and if it's over 95 it's D, which there's only one team in this race. So 33 is an A, which means it'll be either Monty Gobert, Casual Rural, or Movie Star. We've rolled an 81, which puts it as a Movie Star rider. I'm creating a code at the start of the line. There's a very good reason for this. It's going to save me a lot of typing as we go through each of the stages, as you will see as we go through. Our rider from Movie Star is a 27, which is Max Cantor. And Max Cantor's grade, which is the important part, which we'll see in a minute, is an A. Our second rider is part of a B team, of which there's 10. Bengal, Cofidis, Arkea, Eskatel, Astana, Irish Premier, Israel Premier Tech, Sport Vlaanderen, Burgos, Iolo, and Kemp Pharma. I do apologise if I make any bad pronunciations. And I've got 70, which is Sport Vlaanderen, I think is how you pronounce it. I will give him an SVO1. he is. And let's find out. There's 3 riders to choose from. 01 is going to be the first rider, Jules Hesters. And Jules Hesters is again an A rider. Our next rider, 74, which is a B again. B15 is Cofidus. CO01 and 55 in Cofidus is Simone. Consoni, and he's also an A. Must be favourites to get to the end. Next is number 4, which is 10, which is an A, right? A75 again is a movie star. So that's MO2 as the second movie star rider. And right, we need a number over 50. So obviously, let's take my mouse counter. There we are, 92. Emmanuel Vitti. And Emmanuel Vitti is a D. Right, number 5. 33 is an A team. 01 is going to be Wanty Gobert. WG01 for the code. And the Wanty Gobert rider, there's 4 of them to choose from, is 38. And that is Alexander Christoph. And Alexander is also an A rider. 2 more to go. 57 is going to be a B team. And 05 is going to be Bingo. BG01. And 83 for Bingo. Is I take it's pronounced Michael Lambrecht. And he's a E rider. And our last one, 45 is an A rider. 66A is Kaja Rural. CR01. And who we're going to get? 62 is Aritz Bags. Sorry about the quietness. I'm trying to concentrate to make sure I get this right. I need to find when he's a D rider. Right, we've done what we needed to do to start with. We now need to see who is going to stay with the breakaway group and who falls back into the peloton. As we said, they've all got a grade. The grade is important because we're going to roll 1d10, which will be the black dice on the left. For the A riders, they need 8 or less. So 0 to 8 is okay, so only a 9 can get rid of an A. We've got a D, 2 Ds, and the D is 05, 5 or less, and the E is 4 or less. So we'll start to see who goes on, and you can see why I put a code in. As you can see, it will auto fill in here as we do it. So we want anything but a 9, and we get a 9. Anything but a 9, we get a 6, which is SV01. As you see, Julius Hester, Sport Black Green, A. Next one's an A, anything bar a 9. And a 0, that's fine, so CO01. Next we've got a D, which is 5 or less. Nope. A. Anything but a 9. Yep, just got in. Bar 9. Now we've got an E rider, which is a 4 or less. Go on. Nope. And a D rider, which is 5 or less to carry. And yes. So CR01. So we start with 7. We're now down to 4. As we say, the next stage before we go on is a latecomers table. We're going to roll 1d6, which is the blue dice. And depending on what we get, if we get a 1, there's no riders coming in. If we roll a 2, we'll then roll a 1d10. A 1 to 3, we have 1 rider. A 3, again roll 1d10. 1 to 7, we have 1 rider. If we roll a 4, we add 1d6 minus 2 races, so a 0 is possible. 5, we add 1d6 minus 1 races, and a 6, we add 1d6 races. So let's have a look what we're going to get. What's the blue die? We've got a 2, which means we're going to roll now. What's the black die? If it's a 1 to 3, we're going to add a rider. And it's a 1, so yes, we've got to put 1 rider into the breakaway group. Again, it's done exactly the same way we did the first one. First of all, what quality of team? 67 is a B. Which of the B teams is 54, which means it's an Israel Premier Tech rider. I had them over here actually. There's a reason for this. It makes it easier. Israel Premier Tech. And let's find out who the rider is. It's the only difference because obviously I've not made the code and it's got lookup formulas from stage 2 on. So we had them at stage 1. That's all we do. 75. And that is Rick Zabel. Rick Zabel, as I say, he'll be straight in with this group to make it up by 1. And as you see, it's 0 because I haven't put his grade in yet. And it's a C. Yeah, let's see. Right, now basically we're going to repeat that stage a couple more times. So it's time to start again and start looking at this one. So I think put a 9 on the black dice. Yes. Again, bar 9. Yes. And bar 9 and a 4. 5. Less than a 5, yep. And finally we've got less than 6 and a 2, yep. So everybody went through from the group. And now again we go back and look at the D6. We've got a 3, which is anything 1 to 7. We're going to add a rider. We got an 8, so we don't. So for the next stage, it's just the same riders carrying on. Nobody's pushing on from the peloton yet to catch up with them. And again, nobody fell back to the peloton that time. So let's start again, and anything less than a 9? Anything but a 9, sorry. Yes. Next is a 9, so you drop out. Next one is, it's not a 9, he'll come through, which is Simon Consolani has fallen back into the pack. A 6 for a D. Just double check that. I don't think that's good, is it? D is 0 to 5. Nope, so he's not going through. And now we've got the Israeli Premier Tech guy, the C, and he's through. We're now down to 3 in the group. We now need to see if anybody's going to join them. Keep your eye on the blue dice. A 3. 1 to 7 on the great black dice. A 4. Yes, we have a driver to join us. Who's going to start to push on as we get closer to the finish? It's like an 18 rider. And he's from the Kaja Rural team. Again, back to the first column because it's just the way it's done. And CRO2. And what we're going to get. We've got a 16. Which is David Gonzalez. And he's a B rider. I do have a rule. I'm not sure whether I play it right. I'm sure some people would play it, but I say once they've fallen out of the lead group back into the peloton, their legs are shot and they won't come back up and rejoin. So they'll only ever come in once. And now we've got 4 riders coming up to the final bit. Who's going to get there? Is there jiggling and joggling and getting ready for the actual finish positions and ready for the final sprint? Let's see what we do then. 8 bar 9. And we got a 1. Yep. So that's the first one safely through. He's taken up his position. So Justin Hester's a Sport Valgreen. Next we've got Alexander Christoph. Again, anything but a 9. Yes, that's fine. Now we've got the C, which is up to a 6. Yep, that's fine. And then finally, a 4 for a B rider. That's fine as well. So we have our 4 riders. They're all at the finish. Is there anybody going to join them? Yep, as we're looking at. Yep, our sprint resolution. If more than one racer reaches the final step of the previous procedure in the same position, but there's no breakaway, the race is resolved through a sprint. Roll 2 6-sided dice for each sprinter involved. Okay, let's go and see if there's any latecomers first. So let's watch that blue D6. 2 is only on a 0 to 3. 8, no. So right, now what we've got is the sprint roll, which will sort out the guys in there. If you get a tie, you can obviously go on and do options of how you want to settle it. I personally just going to leave it as a tie for the moment. They got over the line together, unless of course it's for the win, and then we'll sort that out. Okay, what we're going to do is roll the 2d6, which is the red and the blue, and just write them in the order they're in. Highest is best. So 15 puts him in the lead at the moment. Oh, that's got to be, unless somebody's going to tie with Alexander, that's a definite winner because you can't get better than 66. Again, another 15, the same again, and a 23. So as it came to the finish, Alexander Kristoff of Wanty Gobert comes over and gets the laurels. David Gonzalez, who came in at the end, obviously quite fresh, just couldn't quite pip him at the end for a second. And shortly behind them, you had Joel Husters and Rick Zabel finishing jointly, just coming across the line within a certain time limit. That means they get the same time. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this and thank you for watching. As I say, this is a great way of doing it. It's a cycle road race. As you see, it doesn't take too long. And, well, unless you get 12 riders in the breakaway or something and have a lot to generate. But as you see, it's simple, it's easy, and within 20 minutes we've got a result. I'm going to get ready to do another race a bit later this week. I hope you'll join me again as we go on to the next race in the series. I want to give a shout out to Brian Anderson because he's running some of the races as well to save me having to run them all. And please feel free to comment, subscribe, like. Give me some confidence that I'm doing something right, please, guys. And thank you for watching. That's our race for today. That's the first one. We'll look forward to the second race soon. Take care, everybody, and be safe.